Fit like Abdi, Danny Boy here, and welcome back to what's not really going to be an episode of Nimby Rails. It's going to be more my thoughts on the game. We are going to keep playing it. I've got a plan. I have not been able to fix this area here. I have rebuilt this tunnel twice at the cost of 20 million each, so I wasted like 40 million trying to rebuild this to get these trains to speed up, but they seem to only go through here at 1 kilometer an hour. It's the first time I've seen anything like this. I'm not sure if it's a bug or what entirely is going on there, but it's kind of bad. So this is not a game breaking bug, but if I was playing this seriously and these trains were timetabled, and then every train was getting stuck behind trains that were going 1 kilometer an hour through this tunnel, it would be kind of bad. And they start here. They go from 1 kilometer an hour over here. And as you can see, track speeds are at 300, 242, 350, 140. But they all seem to go really slow into here. I don't know why that is. As you can see, these 3 trains are all boxed up. But before we get to the good stuff, the things I really like about the game, I'll do a little bit of nitpicking first. So, when I started this, I planned to do like the UK's rail network, but we're still going to do that. But one of the things I've noticed is, in real life, right, take, I don't know, Dundee and Aberdeen is a perfect example. So in real life, the station is here on the harbour. There's not many people that live here. This is all commercial. All this down at the harbour is industrial. As you can see, there are some people, but most are over here and up here. So one good thing about the game is that you can literally build a station anywhere. Like I could say build an underground station right here in Hamilton and collect all these people in here, then build another one underground here and collect all these people, and then head across and then continue on the way. But unfortunately that's not how the real world works, and if you want to place real world stations, you are going to struggle to get population to the train stations. There's a lot of train stations that I've built that should be super busy, but there's no one goes to them because they don't capture hardly any. I mean, this, unless everyone had houseboats, it loses about half the amount of population it should actually take. Because in the real world, if you were the mayor of a city and you told your council constructor or infrastructure whatever, like, here, I want you to build a station in here, and they would go, yes, Mr. Mayor, but we would have to delete lots, we would have to destroy lots of buildings in here, render many people homeless, then build mass tunnels under all this infrastructure, moving pipeworks and electrical cables, digging up roads. It would be a disaster and it would cost us billions and billions of pounds. And they would go like, okay, so actually just build it over here at the harbour where there's some space, and we'll get a couple of buses to go around and pick people up and take them there. That's kind of how the real world would work. I mean, I stay like up here, and they have like in this there's like 34,000 people live here. Now, the old train station, you can actually see where it used to go. It used to come in here. This used to be a rail freight yard. This over here. The train used to go in and it used to come down to, this is the football stadium, and then it used to be in here. And then all of this stuff from this line here didn't actually exist. And all this new stuff was built. It's now built all the way over here. It's building out this way. But their plan was, if they were going to rebuild it, to have it basically here again on the outskirts. So it wouldn't cover half the town, but there would be a bus that would come out, because to demolish all this here, there's a large Tesco's, Argos, there's like a Lidl's in here. There's a huge manufacturing company in here, Gray & Adams, that make trailers for articulated trucks, refrigerated flatbeds, box, you name it. So they can't demolish all that. There's a huge park here. This area where the train used to go is now full of buildings. In here is like fish yards, large. There's the fish market over here. Then there's the harbour. It was best served here because it picked up fish, a lot of fish, and a lot of commercial, a lot of industrial buildings were over this side. And then the trains would load up here or over there and then head out. So that's also a graveyard. Can't move that. This is like the beach. So it's like a natural protected zone or whatever. So it would have to be like on the edge. That's where they said if they were ever going to build it, it would have to be sort of there. So that's how new stations in cities are built. Unless they were built right when the city was being built, and you can get one bang in the town centre. Like Aberdeen, this would have made a lot of sense because there was a lot of industry and stuff near the port. Most of this stuff around here didn't exist when the station was placed, but now it does. And the only way to get there is by bus or taxi or walk or cycle. So going for realistic lines is not the best thing to do. Now, prices. On the prices. Prices are kind of tricky. I've been messing about with them offline to a point where the smiley faces on the train are sort of mediocre meh faces. Like, there's not any here. They're all happy because I've made it cheap to make sure people use it. But if I can find a meh face, it's just like the no smiley face, just straight line face. Like this neutral. At 1 hour 16, it's cost them £100 to go from probably Edinburgh down to Montrose. The further they go, the more meh they get. Look, this one going to Aberdeen has now been on for, now it's £178 that this person or these people are having to pay. Now that's basically almost bang on. When I started using the train, or when they cancelled our sort of flight privileges to go from Aberdeen all the way down to Norwich and York, we had to get the train. So when the company used to buy the tickets and they would give us the tickets, and it would be like, holy crap, it costs like 300 odd quid to go from Aberdeen to like Edinburgh. I was like, that's madness. You'd be cheaper getting on a plane. There is a plane that takes you from Aberdeen to Edinburgh. Actually, I don't think it would be cheaper. I know the flight from Aberdeen to Hull and Norwich is quite expensive. The train is actually cheaper. But I was like, my God, why is it so expensive to ride on trains nowadays? And it's probably for maintenance, upkeep. These trains need to be well maintained. They're constantly used every single day. Well, most of them are. Some of them are laid aside at depots and stuff for repairs, for getting cleaned, etc. But yeah, they're a lot of maintenance, track maintenance, maintaining thousands and thousands upon thousands of miles of track is going to be expensive. So that's another thing. I have tampered with the prices to make them all sort of the neutral face, not the unhappy face. You start to lose passengers at that point, and then sped it up to 3 times speed to try and see if we can get some money. We do get some money. It's kind of slow going though. So another thing as well is the time of day. Obviously between like 5 in the morning plus until like midnight is when a lot of people are using the train. So you've got a lot of commuters leaving early in the morning. You'll have people leaving at night, people who are late, people who finished late from work, other people who just want to get around during the night, etc. I mean, a guy I used to work with, look at this, see, all these trains are boxed up now, and that's bad because look, all of them are getting zero because the first train has all the passengers. it's kind of gone the way of transport fever. I suppose the scheduling would help, but not if they're all getting stuck between one train that is going at 1 kilometre an hour from here to there. That doesn't work. It's also 1 o'clock in the morning. As you can see, no passengers at 1 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, I had a friend who lived in where is it? Where's Newton? There's Portlethen, right? So he stayed here, and he used to have a girlfriend that lived in Aberdeen, and we'd get the train from here at like 7 o'clock, and then the last train left at like 12 o'clock from Aberdeen and to get home. So people do use the train at night. I remember, like, we've been on the train, there's a couple who leave at like 4 in the morning, and some like Caledonian sleepers and stuff that pass through. People do need to get the train those times. There are people that leave very early in the morning to get down to Edinburgh or Glasgow to use their airports to catch flights going elsewhere, because flying from Aberdeen is very expensive. So I'd like to see even just a tiny amount of passengers, even if it's like 5 people. 5 delinquents who are stuck in a train station at 2 in the morning because they need to go somewhere. That sounds about right. That's a real life thing. So yeah, doing the actual lines is not entirely viable, and when stuff like this is happening, it makes it slightly worse. Because I should have heaps of trains utilised in Edinburgh. There's always roughly about 200 people there, but I can't pick up the amount of people I need because all the trains are stuck here. It then gets to 12 at night and everyone disappears. Like, people are unhappy because they've been waiting for so long. If this train was doing its correct speed, it would have been in and out, they would have been away. So that is kind of a problem. So that's the only problems I've got. The pricing, the time of day thing, where at 12 at night everyone just sort of disappears. Also as well, because the red trains here are cheaper, right? Get out of that. Yeah, because these are cheaper, so I think they're like 0.8 for standard ticket price, and then 0.3 per kilometre. These are I think it's like £1 or $1, and then 0 point something per 0.8, I want to say. Yeah, there we go. It's at 0.2, so it's 1 and then 0.2. Because it's cheaper to get on this train, no one seems to want to use the green trains out of Edinburgh. Now that might be twofold. It might be because people want to go to, say, South Gale or Edinburgh Gateway, and the main train doesn't really stop there. I'm not entirely sure. Like, well, what's this train here, right? It's going in at 1 kilometre per hour. I don't know why. I've checked to make sure. This is not tram track or anything. It is full speed track, and it picked up 0 people. And look, the trains behind all picked up people, and now there's 200 people that I can't pick up because everyone is stuck behind these guys. But money aside, I do have the ability to take out. You can take out 3 loans, $1 billion each. That's really good. Actually, I suppose if you were just going to take never-ending loans, then you'd be as well playing with the money turned off. And that's something I didn't foresee, and I probably should have done. I'm kind of regretting it now, because the only thing I can see is offline, playing with money off, but rebuilding this. But this game is really good. I'll say that. And there is so much potential for this game. I mean, there's new trains that can be added. The single developer has allowed the ability for modders to come in, make trains and whatever they sort of feel like. But it can be like a huge game. You could have, because you've got the roads, you could set like waypoints and say, hey, this is a bus route, plant like a bus depot in here or something, and then have buses come round to collect that extra population and take them out here. You could also build things like, say, where are we? Where is it? It's there. You could have like a building in here and then place a runway here and say, hey, this is an airport, and then get planes to fly across the map. You could place a building in here and say this is a port depot, and then have ships moving across the map in this same little triangle form. It's never ending, the stuff you would be able to do with this game. It's a great idea. Well done to the dev I can't remember his name, but well done to him for thinking of something like this. It seems so simple, but it was probably super complicated to integrate and stuff. So well done. It's a great idea. It works really well. This is the only thing I've had a problem with. Everything else has worked sort of great. I did think like the camera controls and stuff were a bit jank to start with, but then I got used to them and now I can fly around the map like a breeze. So we are going to keep playing this. I probably am going to start again, but I'll rebuild all this. I am starting again as well because I don't know what is happening down here. It is scaring me greatly and I want to refix this. I've tried deleting it all the way back from Haymarket to Edinburgh and it just won't go. It rocks in here, right, at Haymarket at like 220 kilometers per hour, and then it heads out here at 1. I don't know why. It looks like it's going kind of faster, but that's because we're going at the fastest speed. But even if I left it running at the fastest speed, I would nowhere near be able to get up to my $1 billion I need. I mean, I was going to take out another $1 billion and then do Edinburgh to Glasgow as the next line. That is what we are going to do. But what I would think was, if there was... Now this would be my ideal dream game of all time. So have a game like this, right? And then have the things like the ability to schedule, the fact that you can build this. Have it in this view. Now I know there's a game already does this, and I'll mention that in just a minute. But have this view, like you can build tracks. And then have a different view that was like Transport Fever, that was like the graphical marvel that it is. A very nice way you could add scenery, assets, whatever you want. You'd be able to see the different trains, liveries, the stations. You would have all your buses, aircraft, ships, trams. You can't do trams in this. That's another thing. I've just not done them yet. But yeah, if you could split that. Now there's a game that does that, Machine Key. It has this sort of top down where you can build and then you can watch it in wonderful 3D. Machine Key is a great game if you've not played it. I've not played it on the channel, but I have played it personally. It's pretty good, but it's not like this sort of scale. So we are going to kind of do that in a way. So we're going to do a Nimby Rails and Transport Fever 2 hybrid. Just recently I wiped the map back to the start of what the UK map is, with no industries, no rail, nothing on it. Back to when the days when I ended Steam and started the diesel and electric age. So I've wiped it back to that. And what we're going to do is, as we build the real life lines, right, in here on this map, we will build them in Transport Fever. So we can go, right now we can go Aberdeen, Elgin, Inverness. That's all we can do because we don't have places like Nairn or Forres. Adding like ridiculous amount of cities to that, to a Transport Fever map, defeats the purpose of me wiping it because it's going to be laggy as all hell. Now we could go Aberdeen. We can't go to Stonehaven or Montrose or Arbroath, but we can go Dundee and then down to Edinburgh. So that's what we'll do. As we build them in here, right, we'll do a Transport Fever episode and we'll build them in Transport Fever with the correct trains and liveries. Obviously not stopping everywhere. I mean, previously I had this train, right, coming up, and then it was going to, why is Perth, yeah, Perth is there, Perth on the map, going up there and then going to Glasgow. That's not a thing that happens in real life. Okay? Doesn't do that. Train doesn't do that. It comes along, Goes probably through Livingston, where's Dunfermline. It might even go through Cumbernauld. I think the train from Perth goes through Cumbernauld. But yeah, the train that goes from Edinburgh, the one that doesn't go to Aberdeen, there's one goes to Glasgow, but it goes up here. Where this branch line is, right here, it sort of peels off and then it goes up through Perth. It then goes through the mountains here to Pitlochry. It then goes round to Aviemore, which I can't find. There, Aviemore. And then it goes up past here and joins on and goes on Inverness. In fact, I think it comes out here and goes down to Aviemore. So that's the original route. So that's what we'll actually do. We will build the appropriate routes and then we'll start working our way down south to Englandshire. One route I really want to do, right? I don't know how much it's going to cost me, but I'd love to go and do the Eurotunnel route. Now I would imagine building tunnel under here is going to be like ridiculously expensive. We'll find out though. And then we need to get into Gay Paris over here. So that might actually be the next episode. We'll see. But yeah, so that's what we are going to do. We're going to do a hybrid of Transport Fever 2 and Nimby Rails. I'm kind of excited to do this. I am going to restart and build all this with money off. And then we'll continue doing the lines. Now we won't just do Scotland first. We'll maybe head down here. Might do the Grand Central line that goes from Newcastle and heads down. I might even add something like where's York? So there's Doncaster. I might add something like Leeds to the mix. There's really not anything up between, well, Durham. We could add Durham, and there's Berwick upon Tweed, and the train comes round here, goes down, goes to Durham, hits up York, and like Doncaster. Where's Doncaster? Doncaster should be up this way. Oh, Darlington. Heads into Darlington. And then it goes down York. So the Doncaster, there we go. So yeah, we'll build that, and there's the Leeds trains that sort of head over. Obviously we can't put too much stuff. There we go, look. That's where I used to stay. So we stayed in Hornsey and we worked over here at Atwick. Yeah, there they are. See these? These are wells, and underneath there are salt caverns, and they're full of gas. They're used as gas storage. And I worked at this one, Atwick 10, for literally years, emptying this out and then refilling it up with fresh water, which was a mind-numbingly, painfully boring job. But here's like the gas site. So this is a Southern Scottish Southern Electric. And there is another one near here as well. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a Transport Fever 2 and Nimby Rails hybrid. Now hopefully I can get the time to rebuild this. I know I did it in like 4 episodes, but it actually took many hours. Try to follow the path, and we'll just sort of wait and see. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. The first episode we will do on Transport Fever is going Aberdeen, Elgin, Inverness. We'll get that built, and then we shall continue on from there. But that's going to be the plan. I'm looking forward to it. I might even do that, right, for the next series of Transport Fever I'm doing as well. Do this, see how the game develops over time, and then build like the new Transport Fever map as well. But we're going to leave it there. I've been Danny Boy. This has been Nimby Rails, a great little game, and I will catch you later.